In Genesis chapter number 14, verses 21 through verse 23. Now the king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the persons and take the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing from a thread to a sandal strap, that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. Abram was saying, I know that you want to bless me, but God has blessings in store. And I have to pass up sometimes the lesser to get to the greater. We know something about that. And down south, we never threw anything away. No, we never threw anything away. My mama found a way to recycle everything. She was the original recycler. Before recycling became popular, my mama was recycling everything. Those clothes will live again. You know, you will see them in a rug or in a quilt or in something. You done with that soap? We're gonna make another whole new soap out of your old soap. We put it together. Didn't waste anything.
Not kidding.
Yes, that's my mama. But God. When you become mature in Christ, you learn how to deny yourself. And learning how to deny yourself is an act of maturity. When you can say no to you. And when you're on that diet and that chocolate cake comes out, and that's just what you need right now. I need chocolate cake right now. I'm deficit in chocolate. But you say no. Because you know you can't have some things your way and still have it God's way. Sometimes you got to give up your way for God's way. Is that right? We can't have it both ways. And when we sacrifice God's because we want it now, we miss the blessing. I heard a pastor say one time that whenever you try to make a blessing, you miss a blessing. You get that? Whenever you try to make a blessing, you miss a blessing. And the blessing you made is much less than the blessing that you missed. The one you missed is much greater than the one you made. Look at number one. God can bless you through others, but they are not your source. God can use any avenue by any means to provide for you, but they are not your source. Your occupation is wonderful. You may enjoy what you do, but your occupation is not your source. You may have income or an income stream, but your stream is not your source. Streams have been known to dry up. Is that right? You may have the best friends, but your friends are not your source. Because there's a point when you might get sick. And if you ever get sick and your job comes in jeopardy and you lose your money, you find out sometimes you lose your friends. Because nobody wants to be a friend to broke folks. That's just how it is. As long as you got something, you got friends. But when you don't have anything, suddenly your friends don't have time for you anymore. But what a friend we have in Jesus. That especially when things are not going your way, when things are down, he will pick you up. He's a friend to the friendless, a mother to the motherless, father to the fatherless, doctor in a sick room, lawyer in a courtroom, bread when you're thirsty, bread when you're hungry. Pay attention. Water when you're thirsty. You're rocking a weary land. Mama call him Jesus. Grandmama call him Jesus. Your friends call him Jesus. And when you don't know what else to say, you just sometimes have to call on the name of who? Jesus. Jesus is your source. When the stock market crashed, people wanted to commit suicide. I never understood that. How would you commit suicide with good credit? We don't get down and have a pity party when things are not going our way. Our source is always Jesus. Jesus is that answer. And some people want the God without Jesus. You don't get God without Jesus. That's right? That's right. Just like ordering chicken fried rice without the rice. How do you get that without rice? That's what it's made of. When you want God without Jesus, you can't get it any other way. Because your way to God is through Jesus. right? We're saved by grace through faith. That means undeserving, unmerited favor. God spares us because of the unmerited favor, that while we were yet sinners, Jesus died for us. And when we accept him, it's that grace of Jesus Christ. It's the grace of God that wakes us up every morning. That unmerited favor that attaches you and allows you to have access to God. You can only get access to God through Jesus Christ. No other way. No matter how spiritual you can try to be, you've got to have Jesus. You cannot have God without Jesus. Because Jesus came to us and says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. The world may still try to find other avenues, other directions, but we know there's only one way to the Father, and that is through Jesus. Amen? Amen. When King Nebuchadnezzar, he was blessed, and God allowed Nebuchadnezzar to build a city. And when Nebuchadnezzar came out on his balcony, he looked out at the city. He says, "Is not this the great Babylon that I have built?" That's how he sounded. And he looked out, he gloated about Babylon. And the Bible said that while the words were still in Nebuchadnezzar's mouth, God struck him. God struck him because the source was not Nebuchadnezzar. God built a city. God allows you to see what he has done through you. Don't try to take credit for what God has done in your life. If something is working, say, God, it's because of your favor. It's not because of what I can do. Nebuchadnezzar had gotten so full of himself that he didn't see God anymore. He saw himself. It's not this the great Babylon that I have built. And God struck him down. And for 7 years, he was down eating grass like an oxen. The Bible says he grew talons like an eagle, and he grew feathers. And for 7 years, he was out of his mind. And after 7 years, God allowed Nebuchadnezzar to have his mind back. And the first thing that Nebuchadnezzar said, I praise you, God. He went and he started to worship and praising God. You see, when you're in your right mind, when you're not seeing yourself, you come in to praise God. When you don't come in and see yourself, you come in with one thing in mind. But when you don't have the right mind, you'll come in and you'll judge what you like and don't like. Drummer's not here today. Not the same. Okay, what else? Okay, it's a little warm in here. And you will miss it. Because it's not about us. Amen. I was at my favorite restaurant recently. And you know, at your favorite restaurant, everything is good. Is that right? When people say, what should I have? Just have anything. It's all good. You know what I'm talking about. Good restaurants. Everything is good on the good restaurants. He owns several restaurants in Tahoe. Several restaurants. And I was at my favorite restaurant, and they have natural foods, whole grains, because I'm a natural guy. And I'm having my burger, my sandwich, and I'm chewing on that. I said burger, didn't I? Okay, I gave myself away. All right, okay, every once in a while I have a burger. Okay. You're going to get down on the guy because he has a little raw meat once in a while. I'm chewing on this natural burger. And I find this little grain, I'm chewing on this grain, and it's tough. I'm chewing on it. And you know, you're chewing, you switch to the other side, you're chewing, and it wouldn't chew. Chewing on it because it's a grain. And I looked down, I saw the toothpick that had broken in half, and I'm trying to chew. My toothpick had broken. But because it was my favorite restaurant, I didn't complain. You see what I'm saying? See, when you like something, everything is good. When you like something, no matter what it is, you chew on everything that's there. You don't look for reasons why you don't like something, because it's your favorite place. Amen? Amen. When you come into the house of God, whatever God brings into his house, it's all good, right? Because we can always find something on the menu that we don't like. There's always something that we don't like. But when you really are in love with Jesus, everything is good. It's all good. No matter what they serve, it's all good, because it's not about you. You came to worship and glorify him. Let's look at number 2. God is our greatest investment. God is our greatest investment. And the point of so many people in the world right now, they're trying to rewrite the Bible. They're trying to rewrite it with their understanding. And they're saying that I'm spiritual, but not Christian. I believe that God is everywhere. God is the universe. And God is out there, and God is around us. But Jesus don't fit in the picture. And the Word of God don't fit that philosophy. And the Bible even shares that in the last days, which is what we're in, is that right? We're in the last days, that people will reap up for themselves teachers that will teach philosophies and things because our itching ears will want to hear something new. We want to hear a new faith. We want to believe in something new. And the world is all searching for something new. But Jesus is the same. Yesterday, today, and forever. That's one thing that don't go out of style. Is Jesus. Is that right? I watched old styles. You ever look at those old movies and find out that's in fashion today? You ever look at those old fashions? They're in fashion today because fashion just tends to revolve. But Jesus never goes out of style. The same Father, the same Son, the same Holy Spirit that was there for your mother and your grandmother is the same one that we worship today. We don't have a different God that we worship. It's the same God. And the same way that God moved back in the old church is the same way that God moves today. It was interesting how they didn't need entertainment so much in the old church. They didn't need flashing lights. They didn't need a program for everything in the old church. We all came together in one room in the old church, and that was enough because Jesus always showed up. We didn't show up because we wanted to see the flashing lights. We wanted a praise band. All we had was Sister Rudolph on the organ over there, and somebody with a banjo, and somebody with a tambourine, and we just lifted our hands and we praised Jesus. And we went away full because that was enough. That was enough. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus than fortunes untold. When you've got Jesus, I want you to know you're rich. You've got everything. Philippians chapter number 4 and verse 19, it says, and my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. My God shall supply all your needs. It may not be easy. That is why we need God. It didn't say that my God shall make it easy for me. Or that my God will give me everything I need or everything I want. It didn't say that my God serves me. My God supplies all of my needs according to his riches. Now God's riches are in accordance with God's will. Get this. God's riches are according with God's will. What is God's will for you? Because when you're in the will of God, that's how God's riches flows to you. If you're not in the will of God, then you're outside of the grace of God. Because God has a will for your life. And when you're doing the will of God, that puts you in the blessings of God. But if we don't want to do the will of God, but we want the blessings and the mercy and the favor of God, you don't get it that way. Because it's according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. And when we're outside of that will of God, we're saying, God, I don't want to do the work, but I want the blessing. And I challenge you to do that tomorrow at your job. Say, I don't want to do the work no more. I don't want to work. I don't want to work this job no more, but I want you to pay me. I want the same pay, but I'm not showing up anymore. Try it for me. Let me know how. Don't try it because you come back and say, Pastor, you said. That was a rhetorical suggestion. Imagine if God says, okay, I won't bless you for another 6 months. You got another 6 months. I'm going to cut your blessings off another 6 months. But that's not how God does it. God is merciful. And mercy means that we don't get the things that we deserve. Is that right? Mercy spares us from receiving the things that we deserve. If your children messed up, or you messed up when you were a child, and sometimes your parents say, okay, I tell you what, I'm going to let this one go. You say, mercy, mercy, mercy. My mother rarely ever said that. She had a memory like an elephant, you know. You ever have a parent that forgot you thought?
No.
until you went to bed at night? Okay, just me, right? My mother remembered about 9:30, because when you know you're in trouble, you go to bed early. No, that's what you do. You go to bed early. You're real good all day. You go to bed early. And I bring my mama her favorite Red Hots. She liked Red Hots, so I'd bump some money, get mama some Red Hots, because I want favor. And the favor that we want from God is supposed to nullify the mercy. See, when we know we're not right, we want to try and pacify God because we'll come to church. I know I'm not right, so I might give a little bit more this week. I know I'm not right, so I'm going to read the Bible this week. You see, you can't buy God's mercy. You can't buy God's mercy with good intentions. God looks at the heart. Is that right? God doesn't look at what you do and say, oh yeah, you came, you read the Bible twice this week. That's wonderful. I'm adding that. I'm adding all this up. No, God looks at your heart. Because ultimately, if your heart is for God, you can't do enough. Have you found that to be true? Yes. When your heart is really right for God, you can't do enough. You're doing more than enough. You're there early, you're staying late, and you're still wondering what more can you do? And God's looking at your heart. My God shall supply all of your need. Philippians 4:13 says, and I can do all things through what? Christ, who does what? Strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. Not I can do all things through Pastor Gene, who strengthens you. Because sometimes I'm encouraging. I know I'm an encourager. And it's exhorting to hear a message. But that's not your strength. No, that's not your strength. Your strength comes from Jesus. All week long, God should be strengthening you because of that connection that you make with him every day. That God is your strength. He is your source and he is your supply. And it keeps getting better and better and better. One woman was on a plane and the lady next to her noticed this big diamond on her finger. And she was a jeweler. She says, I can't help noticing that diamond. That's an amazing diamond you got there. She says, yes, it's one of a kind. And the jeweler was interested. She said, tell me about it. She said, this is the famous Chapman diamond, but it comes with a curse. She said, really? What's the curse? Mr. Chapman. It's the power of Christ within us. It's the power of Christ within us that breaks the curse. When God blesses you, he doesn't curse you at the same time. And sometimes you have taken the blessing, but you've also taken the curse along with the blessing. If you know what I'm saying. Something that wasn't meant for you, but you wanted it so bad, you took the curse that came with it. And later on, you want to blame that you were deceived by something that you purposely and willingly took. You didn't ask God about it. You wanted it so bad. You didn't need God about this one. God, I got this one. And we find out that along with the blessing, us blessing ourselves, we took the curse. And then later on, we want to complain about the curse. And we're, oh God, this curse is all over me. And we want God to remove it immediately. But the curse is not in the situation. The curse is the stain of sin in us. The Bible shares that Satan uses our evil desire to tempt us. Which means if you got into a situation because of your evil desire and God fixed this situation, then you have evil desire still in you. And you'll find your way into that again. Somebody say amen. Because it's the evil desire that's your issue. It's not the problem that you're in that's your issue. God can fix problems, but you got to ask God to work on you. It's that evil desire that Satan sees. That's the lure that brings him in vicinity of you. Your evil desire. And every one of us has evil desires. Is that right? Just you, Pastor. Every one of us have a desire for something that we should not have. It's just in our nature. When they were in the Garden of Eden, they looked at the tree and it was good and pleasing to the eye and desirable to make one wise. They looked and they listened to him and he said, it's good for food, it's pleasing. It'll make you wise. It'll make you like God. And that was good to them. The one problem with that is they were listening to him and they forgot about what God said. Whenever you forget about the word of God and you don't compare your thinking to God's word and you don't seek godly counsel, you're in the territory of the enemy. And no matter how much we can overrule God God's no means no. Look at number 3. Number 3, provisions and promotion come from God. In Genesis, Joseph was the favored son. You remember this? We're still reviewing stuff. We should know this very well. Joseph was the favored son, and his father gave him what? A coat of what? Of many colors. He was the favored son, and he had dreams, and his dreams got him into trouble with his brothers. See, not everybody's a dreamer, and you can't tell everybody your dream. And his dreams got him into trouble, and they did what? They sold his brother into slavery. But God, you got to know, but God. Every time people try to put you down, God will pick you up, because God saw exactly where you're going to go. God also knew where he was going to take you. So no matter where you are right now, know that God's going to end you up in the place where he wants you to be. What your brothers and people around you may mean for evil, God will turn around and do it for good. In the end, ultimately, God used Joseph to bring them all into this land of safety. God knew the famine was going to come. God knew every issue they were going to have in their life. And God used Joseph, the one that was despised, the one that was rejected, the one that had lost hope, the one that had given up. God used him to teach those around them that God is still God. See, when you're faithful to God, there are people around you who's watching you. And they're going to watch how God moves you. But you can't be moved by them and by God. You got to be moved by what God is doing in your life. Because people around you can talk you out of your blessing. Is that right? Because if people don't have a dream, they'll talk you out of your dream. You got to hold true to what God has given you. In James chapter 1 and verse 17 says, every good and perfect gift is from above. Every good and perfect gift is from above. The Israelites were in the wilderness, and God gave them manna. But manna was not enough. Sometimes we just can't accept God's provision when we're in the wilderness. And the wilderness don't last always. We got to know that. Wilderness is a pass-through. That when you're in the wilderness, you got to give God the same praise that you'll give him when you're out of the wilderness. Don't wait to praise God. God, I'm going to dance right now. I'm going to give you glory right now in the wilderness. With manna, I'm giving you praise. And what you do in the wilderness, you learn how to take manna. You have fried manna one day, and manna with cheese, and then you fillet your manna, and then you have manna. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to boil your manna and bake your manna. Do it every kind of way, because you're going to let God know that you're not going to sit and complain. You're going to learn how to bless God with everything he gives you. As I close, Elisha Hoffman was a pastor and a gospel writer of hymns. He went to this woman's house one evening, and she was in great despair. He prayed with her. It didn't seem to help. He gave her scriptures, but the scriptures didn't seem to console her. And finally, he looked at her. He says, the one thing I can tell you is you've got to tell Jesus. You have got to tell Jesus. And she thought for a moment, meditated on his words, and her face lit up. Because she'd been talking to everybody about her problems. She'd been complaining about it. She'd been calling. She'd been pleading. She'd been doing everything. And she wanted things to change. But she had not talked to Jesus for herself. And she said to herself, I must tell Jesus. I must tell Jesus. I must tell Jesus. And Elisha Hoffman went home that evening with those words still ringing in his head. He wrote this hymn. The hymn says, I must tell Jesus all of my trials. I cannot bear these burdens alone. In my distress, he kindly will help me. He ever loves and cares for his own. I must tell Jesus. I must tell Jesus. You must tell Jesus. Father, thank you for your word.